Hey, Infernal Tim, it is. This is Dark Warrior. I'm the popular, I guess many white nationalists would call me an anti-racist, probably call me a black nationalist. Some will call me an Afro-bozo, you know, all these type of things. Tim, I think you're a pretty cool guy. I mean, you say some things that I'll be honest with you. When I would examine them in the beginning, I would get a little pissed off, a lot pissed off. But when I think Nordic Jawa and how he presented himself convinced me to reevaluate some individuals in white nationalism. Um, Tim, I don't know you, so I'm not going to say that you hate black people, but you surely do not want to be around a lot of black people, and that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of black people who don't want to be around a lot of white people. You have your reasons. You probably stated your reasons, and probably, they align with the Kobedegath to a certain extent, Gliok and Quest. That's fine. I just want to make one comment. I don't think you hate black people. I think that you have many misconstrued perceptions of why black people act certain ways, and you attribute that possibly, I'm not sure if you do, but I think probably to evolutionary motives, which I wholeheartedly disagree. But that does not mean that I'm going to call you a hater. I'm going to call you you are not. I think you are a Nazi, and that's not trying to use that in an insulting way. I think that you're a new version of a Nazi. I don't know if you subscribe to it, but my thing is that you need to be careful of who you associate yourself with. I mean, make sure if you want to be perceived as not a hater or somebody that has severe resentment toward another race, then you need to align yourself with people who don't present themselves in that manner. Nordic Jawa is an excellent choice, I feel. Again, I don't agree with his views, but I do agree with his right to not be around black people. Again, I'll say this to you. I've said this to Stefan, and I've said this to Nordic Jawa. I guess the gist of this thing, and we understand your reasons why you want to separate from black people, but I guess my thing is that one of the things I don't understand is how hard is it? How hard is it to be white and never, interact with black people? I mean, especially if you move to Iowa and you move to, some parts of Texas. I mean, how hard is it? And it's actually harder to find a white nationalist in those pockets. But if your thing is to be around white people, you can already do that in the United States. Now, I will tell you this, and I don't know if you have subscribed to it or you haven't subscribed to it. I mean, if you subscribe to the Northwest migration, fine with me. I mean, I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to call you a racist or whatever. That's just your right. However, what black people in this country will not accept is a Kobedegath solution of deporting blacks. That's not going to happen. We're not going to go anywhere. This is our country. And yes, maybe we didn't have the white inventors, the 5% or 1% who created the laws, invented, a lot of these things. Maybe we didn't have that. And I say we. I mean, I'm from West Indian heritage, but I'm going to say we because I was born in America. So I'm going to align myself with African Americans in this. Maybe we didn't have that. We didn't have that. There's no maybe. We didn't have the amount of inventors that white people had. Okay, we didn't. I mean, we had a few, but yes, I understand that. But that's not going to justify the proposition to deport black people back to Africa. That's never going to happen. It's just not. That's just. I think that's just straight out vulgar. So that is one of them, and that will explain the reason why I go after Cobra Daggett in a very aggressive manner, because I know the motive behind his racialized, and I call it propaganda. He calls it race reality, but I call it propaganda. But if you want to have a peaceful solution to separate, I think you can do it right now. But okay, let's say that you want to absolutely not be around any black person, that just any black person threatens your white genetic survival. Then you need to find like-minded people, a lot of like-minded people, and present yourself in a non-racist manner and build a community, maybe in the Northwest. That's all you need to do. But I just don't, and another thing about white nationalists, I don't think that, another thing that you may want to tell your guys to do, some of your white nationalists to do, is to stop bothering so-called Afro-bozos, militant blacks. They're not stopping you from separating. I mean, arguing about, history, who achieved what, that's just immaterial right now. You have your view of, how you see yourself as a white person. They have their view of how they see themselves as a black person. Why are white nationalists doing that? I have no idea. And they do come on these boards, just invade. Anything about blacks achieving anything in history, which many white nationalists believe is very minimal, and that's their right, and they have their so-called facts to support that, and they want to believe that, and if they believe that is fact, that's fine. But you're not going to convince a black nationalist that they have achieved nothing. You're not going to convince a black nationalist that they didn't create Egypt. You're not. You're not going to convince some black nationalists that Romans were black. Now, I know that is false, but even if it is false, you're still not going to convince them of that. They don't like white people. There's some white nationalists, maybe you, that don't like black people. So the two of you guys can just separate. But I'll tell you this, my friend. Some of us who don't have a problem with racial intermixing, or talking to different races, we're not going anywhere. So the problem is with you guys, not us. Okay. I don't know how many people you can convince about your movement. I doubt it's going to be very much, buddy. But the thing is that we're not going anywhere. And I'm not saying that you believe that, but I'm just letting you know we're not going anywhere. I respect you for showing your face. You have excellent courage showing your face. I mean, although your views, really clash with mine, for you to show your face, I'm gonna have to respect you for that. I haven't seen many of your videos, but I'm just gonna assume that you're a nice guy, because white nationalists have said, well, we're always seen as bad guys and mean racists, so I'm gonna talk to you. Okay. So that's all I have to say. If you want to respond, that's fine. If you don't want to respond, you think I'm just another anti-white, Afro-bozo, irrational, anti-racist, that's fine. So have a nice day.